And welcome to the Utica Curling Club. Channel this morning is bringing you Draw 2 of the 2020 UCC College Bonspiel. This is the last weekend to earn merit points toward qualification for the USA Curling College National Championship. We have 24 teams here at Utica this weekend, competing for 294 merit points, which will go a long way to ensuring they qualify for those national finals. And this is mostly Pool B action, one game left over from Pool A going this morning. We have two pools of 12 teams. Top two teams from each pool will make the championship playoff. Our feature game this morning is RIT 1 against Yale 2. RIT 1 is skipped by Joseph Urbano. He's throwing third stones. Morgan Shine is the vice skip, throwing fourth stones. Ben Yeager at second and Emmanuel Papatera at lead. Yale 2 is skipped by Patrick Wang. Third, John Michel. Second, Christina Papini. And lead, Emily Peterson. And we're just about to get underway. Looks like Yale will have the blue rocks and the last rock advantage in the first end of play. First stone by Emmanuel Papatera going through the rings. Now Patrick Wang will have Emily Peterson throw a draw to the wings. And that one will come up a little bit short. That'll come out of play. Somewhere in between those two shots will be the right weight. And a nice adjustment by Emmanuel, throwing a center guard. Now Emily Peterson being asked to draw into the wings to the side of the sheet, keep that middle open with last rock advantage. That one won't make it in the rings, but there'll be a nice little corner guard for Yale to use later in the end. Now Ben Yeager for RIT. Line on this shot was really good. And they are going to get that right to the 8-foot. Nice come around. Five rock rules expired, so Christina Papini will be asked to clear the center guard and open up shot stone. And does open up shot stone, runs shot stone off, and the run and rock is now fully exposed. Couple of options for RIT. They're looking maybe playing the split to sit 1 and 2, or just draw around the blue guard, and they're just going to throw the draw. Same result. They'll sit 1 and 2, and try to force Yale to 1 this end. Biniego with his second. This looks a little heavy. So they may try to convert to the split here and hopefully not lose both rocks. Going to lose the shooter. Did nudge the struck stone a little bit under the guard. Could have swept that a little bit. It might have got a little further under. It's about half buried. Going to chase shot stone. The wreck on the guard, that'll be a fine result. This was just a shade wide though. That'll miss everything. Pro side miss on that shot would be narrow. Make sure you catch one of those 2 stones. Now a chance for RIT to dump another one in behind. Sit 1 and 2. Skip Joe Urbano. He's throwing third stones today. Just going to try to come around the center guard and provide some cover for shot stone. Come right into this spot here. Doesn't get in behind the blue guard, but does cover shot stone, so that'll force Yale to peel or run their own blue stone to gain access to shot stone. John Michel just looking to peel, and then threw that one a bit wide. Again, the pro miss was narrow. Make sure you catch one of those 2 guards. So now a really good opportunity for RIT to set up a steal this end. Again, dump another one behind their high red guard. Just provide a little more cover for shot stone. So again, looking to come around into this area. Had good line on that shot, just a little bit on the heavy side. Could have almost drawn around their stone to the back button. So now John Michelle being asked to throw this peel or run back again. You want to make sure you make contact with something to open up shot rock. And they're going to get the center guard, and we'll split things open and open up the scoring area quite a bit. So that was a very useful shot. Running shot stone off the top 8. But of course, RIT will have another chance to draw around the double centers. Going to come with the in turn this time. Going to play the come around in this direction instead of the way they were coming. A little bit different path here, so the weight could be a little different. Looks like pretty tight ice. We'll see what happens here. Morgan Shine for RIT throwing 4 stones. Looking to come around those 2 guards. And that is going to overcurl. It's not quite enough ice, I think. A little light as well. Now a chance for Patrick Wang and Yale to get around to the 4-foot first here in the first end. Patrick will take the path they've been playing all in, which is this counterclockwise come around. Patrick with his first here in the first end. Sweeper think it's maybe a little heavy. And indeed it is. And so now another chance for RIT to get around to the 4-foot first here. RIT just played the in-turn draw. They know the weight on that side now. So RIT attempted to come around this way their first time. And they're going to choose the same direction. This is a good call. Took a little more ice this time as well. Give themselves a little more room to get around. You're throwing the last rocks at the end, especially, I think, if you have a chance to repeat the same shot, it's a little easier to make the adjustment. They've seen the line and they've felt the weight on this line, so they should be able to make the adjustment and make a nice draw here. You could come the other way, but then you're changing both the line and the weight. Last rock of the first end for RIT. And Morgan Shine looking to draw around. And certainly made the correction on the weight. Got a little more weight this time, but it's going to be a little on the heavy side. This is going to go to the back. can actually contact their stone in the back of the ring. So RIT does sit 3. But the scoring area is fairly large. Patrick Wang just needs to draw the 8-foot to get his single here in the first, and he's going to throw the same shot as well as his first to make that adjustment easier. So they're going to come around the other side with a counterclockwise turn. Pivotal shot here in the first end. Patrick Wang, last rock first end, drawing against 3, trying to get his single. RIT's done their job. They're going to get the force or a cheap steal here. Last rock first end. Want to make sure you get by. And they're definitely by. This one looks heavy as well, but I think it's going to come to the back. Should nestle in for a shot if it contacts the rock. Oh, it's going to roll away. Oh, and that's going to spin out of the rings. And that will be a steal of 3. Patrick Wang coming up a little heavy on his draw. And RIT gets the bonus steal here in the first end. They take a 3-0 lead. After one end of play, RIT leads 3-0. Yale and Patrick Wang with the Blue Rocks will have the hammer here in the second end of play. RIT is skipped by Joe Arbano. He's throwing third rocks today. He's a senior in chemical engineering out of Cheshire, Connecticut. Fourth rock thrower and vice skip today is Morgan Shine. He's a junior in mechanical engineering out of Newburgh, Oregon. Says hi to Zach and Tommy. Second for RIT is Ben Yeager. He's a junior in mechanical engineering with Passaic, New York. He says hi to his family and Luke. It's a very experienced team. Joe Arbano's been curling for a year and a half. Morgan for 4 years. Ben Yeager for 4 years. And Emmanuel Papatera, season and a half of curling. Senior in chemical engineering out of Wildwood, Missouri. Says hello to Mr. Boy. For those of you tuning in, most of these curlers generally have not started curling until they arrived at college. There's a few that have had some prior curling experience, but by and large, most of the college teams you see out here started once they began college. They come along quickly. Yale is skipped by Patrick Wang, class of 2020, going for his MD degree out of Montreal, Canada. They've got some curling up there. He's curled for 4 years, and he says hello to Zhang, mom and dad. Third, John Michelle, class of 2022. Majoring in environmental studies out of Worcester, Ohio. Been curling a couple of years, and he says hello to mom and dad as well. Christina Papini, second-year PhD student in pharmacology out of Flemington, New Jersey. Curling for a couple of years, also says hi to mom and dad. And finally, for Yale, Emily Peterson, class of 2020, Masters of Public Health, is what she is going for. Out of Denver, Colorado, second year of curling. Says hello to Brandon and good luck this weekend. So that's your introduction to the teams today in our feature game. For college curling here in the Northeast, these are reasonably experienced teams. So expect a pretty good game out of them today. Some corner guards in play now for Yale. Looking to come around these corners and hide the stone to score a multiple. It's just going to be a little heavy. Looking for a little tick here to see if they can save the stone, and just slides by. They're just looking to sweep that stone and straighten it out to tickle that red and maybe roll underneath, but just missed. Sweepers alerting the skip that that stone was heavy. Ben Yeager with his draw come around, and this will be heavy as well. So ice is speeding up a little bit, and players will have to adjust. This ice will run about 24 to 25 seconds from the hog line to stop at the tee line. So it's pretty fast pace. Players will have to adjust their weight down a little bit, throw stones to the sweepers. Well-thrown rock should probably be swept about 50 to 80% of the length of the ice. And the sweepers control the distance. And if you want to make precision shots, you have to throw your rocks to the sweepers. And this one, they're not putting much. This one doesn't need any sweeping at all. This is going to go right through. They're looking for that little tick again. And this time they did get the tick. It rolls almost open in the back of the house. But it is shot rock. And so that's going to force RIT to deal with it. Very tough to hit it out there. Could probably do it with light weight. Maybe hack weight. You could probably get around that and take that stone out. Instead, they're going to try just to draw around the guard and outcount it. Bit of a battle here to see who can get around the corner guard first. Claim that territory on the forefoot, that smaller red circle in the middle of the rings here on sheet 4. Joe Urbano with his first. This one's a little tight, and I think they're going to rack on the blue guard. And may not like this result. It's going to push it up for shot stone. Unfortunate result for RIT. Now, John Michelle with a chance to come around to the top of the house, guard that stone on the side of the button, and sit 3. I just love to come around into this area here, maybe half cover shot rock. And again, this one's very hot. And it's going to go through the house. So players having a little difficulty adjusting to the speed of the ice as it picks up here. And now RIT with a chance to get rid of shot stone. They got to play a lighter weight takeout to try to get underneath. Want to over curl if they can. Hit and roll behind those guards. That stone will go out of play. Don't need a lot of weight here. Love to get a little bit of curl to get underneath. This one's quite heavy, and it won't curl much. And that's going to slide right on by. Upweight shots are run pretty straight out here. If you want a little curl, you got to throw board weight or down. Now John Michelle with another draw attempt. This is also very, very heavy. This is close to hack weight. This is takeout weight. And that's going to slide through the house again. So another chance now for RIT to take out Shot Rock. I think they need to pull their weight back just a little bit. I think a bumper weight or hack weight shot here would be ideal. Get a little bit of curl. Just get a little bit of curl and get underneath here. And make a roll to the inside. It's like they're just going to tighten up the ice and throw the same weight, but it's going to be hard to get their stone underneath. It's going to be tight to the guard. Just leaked by the guard. And they're going to get the underneath roll. Had to play that really tight with that weight. And that rock is now fully buried. And Yale's looking at getting forced again. They may have to try to open things up and see if they can gain access to that stone. They could peel their own blue guard. You knock this guard away, roll the shooter over, and open up a path to shot stone. They would force RIT to guard or throw a second stone in the rings. And that's what Patrick's looking at. It's probably unrealistic to run that stone 20 feet back on the shot rock. Well, you might get lucky. But I think the main point here is to make sure that the blue guard goes away and opens up shot rock. And Patrick will have a chance to remove that red stone for a deuce here in the second. Otherwise, he's going to have to draw the 4-foot to get a single. And a very nice peel by Patrick Wang, opening up shot stone. And now RIT will be faced with a choice. They can either guard that stone, they can take out the blue stone, that's an option as well. Or they can draw a second one in. The goal here would just either, any of those choices is to at least sit 1 and 2. And that will force Yale to draw for a single. And it looks like Morgan would like to go after second rock, that blue stone in the back of the rings, and sit 3. Nothing wrong with that call, up 3-0. I think that's an excellent choice. You don't even have to stick around here. You can hit and roll out. That would still leave you sitting 1 and 2. RIT's goal here is to force Yale to take a single, take a 3-1 lead into the third end with the last rock advantage. Need to make it, though. If you miss this shot, then gives Yale a chance to grab their deuce. Last rock of the second end for RIT. Morgan Shine looking to remove second rock, coming in nicely. And that's going to hit and roll away, and that's just fine. No sense in making it easier for Yale to score by providing a pocket for them. So they're now going to be forced. They're going to have to hit or draw. Looks like Patrick's looking at the hit and stick for 1. Probably the easy shot. Now without a little risk, if you crack the guard, you'll drop another steal of 2. Looks like they're going to throw a fairly lightweight hit with the amount of ice they're taking. Taking a little more still. So based on that amount of ice, I would say they're probably throwing hack weight. Down weight hit has a better chance of keeping the shooter around. Last stone, second end. Patrick Wang looking to take out shot stone for a single. This looks like really nice weight. And nicely thrown by Patrick Wang. Hits and rolls in for a single. And a nice smart weight call as well. You don't want to really throw a heavyweight shot against multiple stones for a takeout. You need to keep your shooter around. And really nice weight choice there by Patrick. Picks up his single here in the second. RIT with the red stones will have the last rock advantage in the third end of play. Take a quick tour around the sheets to pick up the scores. Bowdoin 2 grabbed 1 in the first ends. They lead 1-0 after 1, just finishing up the second end now. Bowdoin 1 took a deuce in the first and stole another one in the third. They lead 3-0 after 2 ends of play against Penn State 2. Over on sheet 3, Harvard scored 2 in the first. They lead 2-0 over Cornell, just down the road from us. Over on sheet 5, SUNY Poly has grabbed a 1-0 lead after 1 over Villanova. And over on sheet 6, 2 ends completed. UPenn leads RPI 2-1 after 2 ends. They grabbed a deuce in the second to take the lead. RPI scored 1 in the first. That brings you up to date around the shed here in mostly Pool B action. We have one Pool A game going on out there on sheet 2 between Bowdoin 1 and Penn State 2. Our feature game, RIT 1 against Yale. RIT 1 leads 3-1. And they've got the last rock here in the third end. RIT is still shot as that come around attempt by Yale went a little bit deep. Both rocks are behind tee line though, so you can't make those any better. And Emmanuel Papatera stone just kind of bounces off his stone in the back. Pushes the original stone into third rock position, so RIT lies only one, and this will give Yale a chance to remove shot rock and sit 1-2. Cleaned up a few stones, so Yale now sits 1-2. No opposition rocks in the rings. To keep the blank alive, RIT will have to remove one of these stones and hang around. And remove the stone, but they're going to roll out of play. Once again, a really heavyweight takeout. Hard to keep your shooters around when you throw really heavy weight. Now Christina Papini just looking to replace that stone that was just removed and continue to sit 1-2. Sweepers are not interested in this one. Just needs to hang around the rings. And it looks like it's just going to go back button. All right, on the button. Nice weight out of Christina. And again, RIT will have to remove a stone to keep the blank alive. If they can roll under the center guard, they might get something cooking. That takeout attempt wrecking on the guard, and now a chance for Yale to set up a steal here. That was heavy over curled and out of play, or out of the rings. wide open house here for RIT, so I'm sure they'll want to hit something. Ideally, you want to hit and roll in front of those stones in the back of the house. Like to roll into this region. Just to have some backing here to make it really difficult to remove the RIT stone after they make this hit and roll. This stone's going to go out of play. Those rocks behind T-line are your friends when you've got the last rock. You put your stones above them, above the backers, and it makes it hard to remove, at least more difficult. You can't always make your opponents miss, but you can create opportunities for your opponents to miss. A takeout attempt here by Joe Urbano. He's going to be a little wide here. Going to remove a couple stones from play. Improves things, but then keep a shooter around. It's not much forgiveness with heavyweight takeouts. You pretty much get what you get. You don't get a lot of curl. If you throw those down weight takeouts, say bumper weight, or a little softer than that, you can control those stones with your brooms. Make some precision rolls. So John Michel just being asked to replace the stone that was removed. I don't know if they're on the rings in the back, but just sitting in the rings here and forcing RIT to chase. You'd like to force them to one. If that stone in the back of the rings is in, then Yale is sitting 1 and 2. I think with the lead, RIT would be very happy to just continue trading hits. And from our camera angle, it's very hard to tell if that back ring is, or back stone is on the rings. Our camera angle is going to make it look worse than it is, so they might wind up putting the biter bar on that to see if it's on. And they're going to switch up the turn on this hit. Threw that one a little wide. And that's going to miss everything. A good lesson for those of you looking to improve your game. Throwing those down weight hits will give you a little more forgiveness on takeouts, and you'll keep your shooter around more often. I think one of the masters of the downweight hit was several-time world champion Glenn Howard in his rink, Dave Nedowan. Throwing fourth stones. Actually, Dave was on Verby's team. But they were masters of those downweight shots. Glenn's team also threw a lot of downweighters. Keep those shooters around. Now Morgan Shine Trying to hit and stick here. Shot stone. And again, with that weight, they run really straight, hit and rolled out. So Yale's still counting in the front of the rings. They'd like to draw another one in. If they get behind their guard, it would be great. But even if they sit 1-2 and get a single, they'll at least get the hammer back in the fourth end and hopefully be able to make multiple score. Good chance to steal, though, if they can put one on the side of the 4-foot behind this guard on the top 12. Just looking to curl around here. Hide a stone back on the 4-foot. Patrick Wang with his last here in the third end. Hammer stone to come. Curling nicely. And is it going to hang on for the force? Yes, it will. So Yale sitting 1 and 2 for sure. Might be sitting 3 depending on the measure on the stone in the back of the rings. So now this will force a draw. Morgan Shine throwing fourth rocks here. Will have to get a good piece of the 8-foot to get his single. Drawing against 2, maybe 3. Last stone, third end. And this looks very heavy. And that's going to cruise through the rings. And that's going to be a steal of at least 2 for Yale. The only question is whether the stone in the back is on the rings, and I think they're going to put a biter bar on that to see if it is. And the biter bar comes out. Doesn't really matter if the stone is visually on the rings or not. The biter bar rules. It's exactly 6 foot in length, and any stone that's within 6 feet of the pin is on the rings. And it looks like it's not touching anything. So that will only be a steal of 2 for Yale, but that's enough to tie the game. So we've got ourselves a 3-3 tie. RIT with the Red Stones will have the last rock in the fourth end. Let's take a quick tour around the sheets to pick up all the scores. After 3 ends of play, Bowdoin 2 leads Penn State 1, 3-1. Bowdoin grabbing a deuce in the third end. Over on sheet 2, Bowdoin 1 has extended their lead to 5-0 over Penn State 2 after 3 ends of play. Still playing the third end over on sheet 3. And that's a 2-1 score after 2. Harvard SU split team has hammer in the third end. Over on sheet 5, we're knotted up at 1-1. That's SUNY Poly versus Villanova 1. And over on sheet 6, we are all tied up at 2-2 after 3. That's University of Pennsylvania versus RPI 2. So you're all caught up. In our feature game, we're knotted up in a 3-3 tie. RIT 1 versus Yale 2. RIT's got the Red Stones this end, and they'll have the last rock. Kind of in a curious position this end. RIT has the hammer. They have their stones in the middle. Yale 2 doesn't have the last rock, and they're around the corners. But Yale is shot on the edge of the 4-foot. And now they're pretty happy to guard those red stones in the middle. The other option would be to run one of those red stones and just sit there, gain control over the middle of the sheet. And the danger is being a little heavy here. You don't want to tap one of the red ones in. This stone is coming down, though. Sweepers originally thought that was quite heavy, but it's actually going to be a very nice guard. So a nice throw by Christina Papini. That's pretty much what Patrick wanted, was a center guard. Now he's got double guards to set up a steal here in the 4th end. RIT wants to clear out the middle. They could just peel the blue guard. That would be certainly be an option. Looking to raise one of their red stones in. If they hit it right, they might be able to drive it onto the blue shot stone and clear the middle out at the same time. This could work out in their favor. scatters some red stones around and opens up shot rock. Not a bad result. They spun 2 of their own stones onto the rings, and so that's going to put a lot of pressure on Yale. RIT sitting second and third rock, and a very lonely shot stone. This Yale stone could be removed by a lightweight takeout down that line, and so Patrick's looking just to draw another stone in above it to guard it. Get another one behind that corner guard and sit 1 and 2. That would be almost ideal. The main thing is to cover the path to that stone so it can't be removed. And sweepers haven't put a sweep on this yet. It's hanging a little wide and a little heavy maybe. Does cover the path, and it is second rock, but it's wide open, so double opportunity here. Hit this rock on the center line side, you might be able to get both stones going. Don't need a ton of weight to make a double. Mainly just need to be accurate. They need to hit this stone just a little bit on the center line side. A good miss just be to remove the stone. Tight to the guard. And they're going to wreck on the guard. They're going to spin another red stone into play though, and got a little lucky. They spun it in for shot stone. A little bit of a wick-whack there for RIT, but it worked out well for them. Yale looking to throw a little tap up on their stone on the top 8. They would like to now gain access to that shot stone of RIT. Real nice weight here. Maybe going to over curl a little bit, maybe just a shade light. Now they got the RIT stone surrounded, so Yale now sitting second, third, and fourth. Now the RIT stone is starting to look a little lonely in there. RIT is just looking to guard some of those runbacks. And the stone's going to come right into the pocket. This may work out pretty well. And that's really not bad. It pretty much took away both blue raises. Corner freeze is a great way to neutralize a rock and prevent your opponent from getting access, and it sets up an angle where they're not able to use it effectively. So RIT looks like they've successfully protected shot stone. Now the question is, how do they get two? Yale's looking to come around the red stone and tap up their blue stone into the 4-foot area. It's a delicate little shot. It's coming over nicely. This could work out beautifully. Oh, just over curled. Needed to be on that sooner, but boy, they really got that red stone surrounded now. Yale almost made an outstanding shot there if they'd kept the brooms on that a little bit earlier. Could have raised that stone right to shot position. Really nice throw by John Michel. Almost made it. Still a pretty good shot. The scoring area is now really small for RIT. They'll be lucky to get more than their one. Yale now sitting second, third, fourth, and fifth. So a little bit of a dangerous spot for RIT. They don't want to open anything up at this stage. On the right-hand side of the ice, that would just give Yale a chance to remove RIT shot rock and lie a bundle. That will just add to the clutter in front of the house. Now Patrick Wang is actually looking at a little jam-in shot. Got a couple different possibilities. One of the shots they're looking at is just to jam this rock in and move that rock out of the 4-foot. It's kind of tough because the blue stone is almost behind the red stone in the rings. I think it'd be very hard to remove it from play. You'd have to throw a rocket ship to move that red stone. The other option they have is they can tap up these two blues. Just a little draw, maybe back 4 weight. Tap blue, blue right to the pin. And not much disadvantage to that, even if you wrecked on the red and push the blue up into a better position. So let's say you wreck on this red. You really don't make your position any worse. You probably even expose this red stone even more. That's a very lonely rock. So Patrick's looking at playing a fairly lightweight shot here, maybe back 4, back 8 weight. Just play a blue, blue tap. Really not a lot of downside to this as long as you're not too heavy. First skip rock in the fourth end for Patrick Wang. Just over curled a bit, but rolls another blue stone into usable position. So RIT is trying to guard against this stone now being used to tap out the red. So they need to put a guard up in that region to prevent that shot from being made. Yale's got a lot of stones they can use. They've got a lot of spare ones. RIT being careful here. And a pretty good looking guard here. That's gonna, well, it's gonna over curl a bit. Over curl the hair, so that shot is there. So probably about 2/3 of a rock on the high side, and that stone can be pushed up into that lonely red shot stone. Patrick going to throw a little more weight now. Tightened up the ice just a hair. Probably going to bring like a board takeout weight here. Again, just want to hit this rock a little bit on the high side. Probably about 2/3. Two-thirds of a rock, and that will drive it right into shot stone. And that would put RIT in quite the pickle. Yale's last rock here in the fourth end. One more to come. Trying to keep this on the high side. And it's really close. And it's a beautiful shot. Well done. And Yale is suddenly cooking here. They're sitting 3. 3 stones on the forefoot, 1 on the button. And now RIT's in a bit of trouble. I don't see any way for them to score. They may need to cut their losses here and remove one of the blue stones from play. I just don't see anything. I think they're going to have to hit this stone and eat their steal of 2. Otherwise, they're dropping 3. This is where you take your medicine. Yale just made a great shot. Not much you can do about it, other than to keep them from scoring 3. So they're going to play the cut down shot, try to remove third rock, give up only 2 this end. Critical shot here in the fourth end. Last stone, fourth end for RIT. Morgan Shine trying to remove third rock. Going to set that one out a little bit. And that'll be a steal of 3. And after being down early, Yale has grabbed a 6-3 lead after 4 ends of play. Really fine shot by Patrick Wang, turned that end around. RIT got into trouble early, even with shot rock. They were outnumbered in the house with rocks around them and in top of them. And Yale finally got to one of those stones and ran it in. So RIT with the red rocks. In the fifth end, they will have the last rock. You're watching Draw 2 action here at the UCC 2020 edition of the UCC College Bonspiel. Mostly Pool B action. 12 teams in each pool, A and B. Top 2 teams in each pool will go on to the championship playoff rounds. We'd like to thank our sponsors for making this event possible. Duncan of Hamilton, Hannaford's of Clinton, Hannaford's of New Hartford, Hamilton Whole Foods, and Price Chopper of Hamilton. And thank our sponsors for helping make this event possible. One of the largest college bonspiels in the country, and this last weekend for earning qualification points for the national championships. Let's take a quick turn around the sheets. Over on sheet 1, Penn State 1 has grabbed 3. They've taken a 4-3 lead after 4 innings of play. Over on sheet 2, Bowdoin has extended their lead to 6-0 after 4 over Penn State 2. Cornell has broken out with a steal of 3. Well, a steal of 1 and a steal of, they took a single and a steal of 3. They now lead 5-2 after 4, grabbing a 3-point lead. In our feature game, Yale 2 leads 6-3 over RIT 1. Over on sheet 5, Villanova grabbed 2 in the third and stole another one in the fourth. They lead 4-1 after 4. And over on sheet 6, we have a tight battle. UPenn leads RPI 2 3-2 after 4 over RPI 2. That brings you all up to date on all the scores. It looks like our game on sheet 5 has picked up the pace. They were running a bit behind. They had Tommy DeTurtle in the window, informing them that their play was a little bit on the slow side. Seem to have picked up the pace, and they're back on track, I think, with most of the rest of the games now. Meanwhile, our feature match is moving right along. Lots of corner guards in play now for RIT, so a chance for them to get around one of those corners and set up a multiple score. RIT draw drifts behind the tee line, so Yale will have a chance to draw around and freeze. Weight looks really nice on this shot. They're going to come right to shot stone. And that's a lovely shot. Yale now shot stone, but are still behind tee. I think a freeze or draw around the corner would be a good call. Still early in the end. There will probably be a few freezes to come around this corner guard if things continue as they are. Keep stacking freezes up, pretty soon you'll be above tee line where you want to be. And this one was just a little wide. They were playing for the tick, and they're actually going to get a nice roll here. And that's going to go right behind the corner guard for shot stone. So it wound up in the right spot. An alert call by the skip, Joe Urbano, getting a little tick and roll. John Michelle just being asked to tap that stone back a little bit. Just going to throw a light weight come around. This might be a little heavier than they were expecting. And that's not going to curl. Now a chance for RIT to dump another one around that corner and protect shot stone. And they'll have a deuce in the making. And setting up very nicely for RIT. They've got corner guards in the open. The middle is open for them for their last rock. So they're set up the way you'd like to score a multiple score. Like to get good coverage over shot stone here, though. You definitely want to get off the center line and keep that middle open. This is coming over nicely. Does guard shot stone. But a double opportunity is available for Yale. What Yale would like to do is hit this and roll here And that stone come off that one. If they just remove shot stone, they'll be quite happy. Or remove second shot, one is just thrown. It's real close to a double. Oh, just missed. Needed to hit that just a shade higher. They would have gotten both. Yale can run their blue one in now with the next one. So RIT has a decision. He can go around the other corner and sit two. They can guard the run back. Just want to be careful not to clog the middle up. They still need access to the 4-foot for their second point. And it looks like they're just going to guard the run back. And that didn't work out too badly. A little on the heavy side, but the double's off the table now. The only downside is I think they've blocked their draw a little bit. RIT still got a path into the 4-foot area though. And the question for Yale is where do they want to put their stone? They could come right around first if they wanted. And if they're short, that's not so bad. If they get in behind that red, it's pretty good. And I think an ideal spot, if you come up short, this is not bad. Ideal shot is just go ahead and draw in behind. I think there's enough room to get behind that guard and get yourself mostly buried. Even if you've got to go back button, it would be good. Would be good. Want to take away that stone. And it looks like Patrick's going to try to get in first. Port's a little tight. There's quite a bit of curl out there, so they're going to almost going to have to skinny by both guards, I think, to get underneath. Patrick Wang with his first here in the 5th end. Looking to draw around. Sweeper's on that right away. The line looks pretty good. If they get by, it's just hooked on them at the end. They can know they're not going to get by. They missed a golden opportunity. Really nice weight by Patrick Wang. Just missed the sweep call. I think that was fully buried top 4. Still not in a bad position. I almost think RIT needs to hit that stone and get rid of it. As Yale will be tapping it up next. This blue stone is the danger stone for RIT. That can be used by Yale to outcount RIT's shot stone. RIT's got a couple rocks left. If they hit and stick right there, then they'll be in complete control of the forefoot. And they'll have two ways in. They'll be able to raise either of those two red stones, either the one that's sitting on the top 12 or the nose hit stone, if they can manage to nose hit this stone and drive it out. And looks like that was the discussion they had. And RIT came to the conclusion that was the stone that was the most dangerous. No, it looks like they're playing the raise. It's just going to be too heavy. Even if that raise was successful, Yale would have a short run back with their last stone. So I'm not sure it bought you a lot, even if it was made. Now Yale's going to have a tap up. They're looking to see if they can get around and nudge their blue stone onto the shot stone, but I just don't think the angles are there. They can certainly force RIT to one by covering the draw path. So if Yale puts a stone in this draw path here, I don't see how they score two.
Sweep it all the way. Max, all the way. You want to draw in or you want to try and hit that? Hit it in.
Last stone for Yale here in the fifth end. Patrick Wang's looking to draw into the hole. This one's over curling. Might be able to bounce this back to cut off the draw path. Not sure that did it completely. Well, there's a double opportunity to get two. That double will get you a deuce. The other option is to try to draw through this little port. I think the draw is there, for sure. And that's probably the easiest of the shots and the least risky. It looks a lot wider on our down the sheet view than it does in the overhead view. In the overhead view, that line looks really tight. It curls pretty hard. Last rock, fifth end. Morgan Shine looking to draw for two here. It's curling in. Probably needs to hit something to hang around. Looks a little heavy. Going to chip off the red, and I think that's going to do it. Nice shot there by Morgan Shine to grab a deuce. Coming off his own red stone. Keeps them both around. Certainly looks like 2 from here. And so after 5 ends of play, Yale 2 leads RIT 1 6-5. Yale with the Blue Rocks will have the last rock advantage in this critical 6th end. And going around the sheets, Bowdoin 2 grabbed a deuce in 5. They grabbed a 5-4 lead over Penn State 1. Over on sheet 2, Bowdoin 1 has extended their lead. They grabbed another 4. They now lead 10-0 after 5. Harvard grabbed 1 in the 5th. They trail 5-3 after 5 ends of play against Cornell. Over on sheet 5, Villanova's grabbed another steal. And they lead 5-1 after 5 over SUNY Poly. And over on sheet 6, UPenn grabbed another steal of 1. They lead 4-2 after 5 over RPI 2. And you've got all the scores up to date here in draw 2 of the UCC College Bonspiel 2020 edition. In our feature game, we have a tight one. Yale 2 leads RIT 1 6-5 after 5 ends of play. We're in the 6th end here. Always important to score in the 6th end, especially if you've got the last rock. Yale doesn't need a deuce here to stay in control of this game. They just need to make sure that they score. They're up 2 after 6. They can give up a deuce in 7 and still come home with the hammer in the last end. So Yale does have the advantage here. They'll have 2 hammers to 1 for against RIT, having the last rock advantage here in the 6th end. Well, Yale has at least half the sheet open in this end so far. So you'd like to see that with the last rock, but real nice draw there by RIT. Getting around the corner guards first. Hoping to get a force here, and at the very least force Yale to take 1, so they're only down 2 in the 7th. Christina Papini looking for a come around freeze against that rock just thrown by RIT. Just looks a little strong. It's going to slide by. Probably a better miss than guarding it up, that's for sure. But now a chance for RIT to get a center guard up. I think they just like to flat out steal this end. And that would flip the hammer, so they would have the hammer in the last end. Looks like RIT just going to split the house. This draw is not curling, though. It's going to clip the guard. And that's another corner. It's getting pretty cluttered up front, though. And Patrick's had enough. He's going to open things up. Create some room for a draw and open up shot stone. Yale's goal this end is to make sure they score. Don't need to. And they removed the wrong rock from play. That overcurled a bit. Boy, I really like a center guard here. That would really put a lot of pressure onto Yale. They have no way in at the moment. Or wouldn't if you put up a guard here. Lots of red rocks in front of the rings, controlling the scoring area. RIT's going to try to just draw in and sit two, but that'll give Yale a chance to follow them down. Or just to peel open again. And that one's going to bounce, but it rolls to a pretty good spot. They got a center guard. And Patrick will have to remove that stone. The draw path to the 4-foot now is pretty narrow. Yale's going to need some room here to draw in with their last stone. And Yale chasing a bit this end. Again, a heavyweight shot doesn't curl. Don't need to throw a ton of weight to throw peels. Now a golden opportunity for RIT. Now would be a great time to get aggressive and come around now that they've got a center guard. Come right around to the 4-foot and sit two. You might get a multiple steal this end. You come up short, that's okay. Joe Urbano trying to get around the center guards. And they're just going to tick. Spins a couple more onto the rings, but opens up a draw path. And Yale's going to try to come in now while they've got a chance. Jean-Michel being asked to draw around and freeze 2-shot stone. And this one's hot. And sweeping for the tick here. Not sure they're going to catch it. No, they just missed the tick. So now Yale in a bit of trouble here in the 6th end. I think just a center guard here will make it very tough for Yale to score. They're sitting shot stone on the 4-foot, and it got a couple of biters. Just for good measure. Good center guard here will put tremendous pressure on Yale. And the sweepers haven't laid a broom to it. This one's going to coast in. It's going to get most of the way around the guards, and it's going to sit right on the top 8. They sit 4, and that stone's not actually in a bad position at all. The draw path is now very narrow for Yale. They're facing 4. 2 stones to come. Can only see about a quarter of that rock. It was just thrown. Morgenshine coming up big with that draw. Trying to throw a guard, but they wound up with actually a better shot, I think. Good pro side miss. Very heavyweight shot there by Patrick, and he sails through the hole. Now a center guard should seal things up. Morgan can throw a center guard here. I think Yale will be forced into this wide outturn draw just to cut down the score. Well, if you're throwing last stones, this is what you like to see. Throwing guards. Trying to hold this out a little bit. Line is really nice. And that's in a pretty good spot. Over curl maybe just a hair. So left Patrick a little bit of an out. Can play this in-turn draw to the forefoot. Tight port. Can't rack. And I think that's probably the best choice. This wide out-turn draw is just murder. Don't know the line or the weight out there. So a big shot here. The 6th end for Patrick Wang. Needs to draw the forefoot to get his single. Needs to at least get full 12 to cut down RIT to a steal of 2. Last rock, 6th end. And this one looks very heavy. Not to mention wide. And they're not going to get by the guard, and that'll be a steal of 4. So after 6 ends of play, RIT 1 grabs a 9-6 lead over Yale 2 in a back and forth affair. Yale got behind the 8 ball early in that 6th end. They'll have some work to do in the 7th, now trailing by 3. Let's check the other scores. Over on sheet 1, Penn State and Bowdoin are all tied up. 5-5 after 6 ends of play. Bowdoin has the hammer there on sheet 1. Over on sheet 2, Penn State has gotten on the board. They trail 10-1 after 6. Over on sheet 3, Cornell has extended their lead over Harvard 1 to 7-3 after 6 ends of play. On sheet 5, SUNY Poly has clawed back 1. They trail 5-2 after 6 to Villanova. And over on sheet 6, we have a tight one going. And it's a 4-3 affair with UPenn leading RPI 2 4-3, and they have the hammer in the 7th end. So your scores are all up to date. In our feature game, RIT 1 leads Yale 2 9-6. After 6, Yale will have the hammer here in the last end, playing on the 7th end, rather, with the Blue Rocks. Now that RIT's back in the lead, they're happy to bang blue rocks here. Nice job by the sweepers. Hold the line on that shot. And Yale's got to keep some rocks in play, so they're just going to use that red stone to as a backer to freeze. Be able to tap that red out later. Keep your opponents from removing your stones. You either need to sit on a stone or hide behind one. Yale looking to just freeze to this shot stone. It's not going to curl quite enough. The weight was really nice, just maybe a little wide. Got shot stone though. They'll force RIT to play on it. To change the turn, I think that's a nice call. They just played this shot, so they've seen the line. And the player just threw that successfully, so why not try it again? Hit that one a little on the high side, but should be good enough to remove both stones from play. Well, it just hangs on in the back. Not a bad spot though. It's directly behind the shooter. I think Yale's going to have to try to hit and roll underneath if they can at some point in the end. Send that stone out. It's at 2. Depends on whether or not Patrick may be thinking about whether or not his player can make this hit. The other option would be simply to draw around the other corner guard or draw around the center guard. Looks like they might be drawing around the guard here. Not a bad call here. If you miss this a little heavy and you chip and roll to the middle, that's a good result. This was going to come up a little light though. Don't want to be light when you're with the hammer. Leave more guards in play, especially up the middle. Now RIT is just going to hide around those staggered guards. Take advantage of the second guard that was just inadvertently left by Yale. Get one in behind. RIT's goal this end is to get a force. Force Yale to take a single. They could then come home up 2 with the last rock, which would be a big advantage. And that draw attempt came up light as well. Scattered a little more clutter into the middle. Made it a little bit harder to get at shot stone though. It's still visible, but you'll have to throw a very lightweight shot to get to it now. Well, it looks like they're going to try to hit and roll away. Take this stone out that way. Roll over to that region. Jean-Michel. The hit attempt. Going to remove shot rock, but his shooter's going to roll away. Again, if you throw that heavy weight, you don't keep the shooters around. A little bit lighter weight shot there. Has a better chance of keeping your shooter in play. Yale does sit one though. But shot stone is wide open. I think it can just be removed, or you could just draw around. If you're confident in your draw weight, drawing right around those staggered guards. It'd set up a force or even potentially a steal. Looks like they're going for the takeout. This is a very safe call. Could drop a deuce here though if Yale beats you around the guards. They could grab a deuce this end. And they've changed up the call, actually. After further consideration, they're thinking they'll just throw the draw. Joseph Urbano. The weight wasn't too bad, but maybe not enough ice, or it came out a little tight. Hard to see from our vantage point here behind the glass. We're not directly behind sheet 4. But that over curled. So now the door is open for Yale to sink one here. Outturn draw. And they've got 3 in play. If they can draw one in here. And this is going to be a beauty. It's got to sit. Going to go just behind the button, but a very nice shot. And that's going to force RIT to follow it down. Morgan's going to have to come up with a good one here. Yale sitting 1 and 2. But they're behind T-line. So a good draw here by Morgan Shine could take the end away. Freeze on the button, you'll probably get a steal. Even if you come top 4 or top 8, you'll squeeze down the scoring area. Make it very difficult for Yale to get a multiple score. Very important to get this one in behind the guard. And at least into the 8-foot. First rock and 7th in here for Morgan Shine. Looking to draw on top of shot stone. Sweepers just haven't looked at it. Now they go. Starting to come in. Yeah, and that's going to work out great, I think. Now, it bounced a little bit and probably didn't want to do that. Not a bad shot, but that stone is wide open. And if Patrick Wang can come down and get a little inside roll, he can sit 3. The only good news for RIT is that all these stones will be behind tee line. So Patrick's looking to throw a nice, probably want to throw a little soft weight shot. Tap the stone back and get a little bit of a roll underneath. Sit 3. Don't want to overthrow this. Definitely need to keep your shooter around here. You love to get an inside roll underneath those center guards. Coming with pretty good weight here. And they're not going to get by. They're going to click the guard. Got a little lucky again. They got the double roll, or the double wick. And they're going to roll to the back 8. They're not shot stone, however. Sitting 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now RIT needs a second stone in desperately. If you're RIT, you got to go top 4 here and sit 1 and 2. Last thing you want to do here is drop another 4. You can throw the guard, but you better make it. If you miss the guard, you're dropping a 4 spot. If your guard over curls. It's a lonely shot stone. Anytime you got lonely shot stone, you should give it company in the house. Sometimes the best guard is sitting 1-2. Another pivotal shot here in the 7th end for RIT. In a very entertaining game, back and forth. Morgan Shine looking to guard. Lonely shot rock in the house. Got to make this guard good. Otherwise, it gives Yale a chance to score a big 4 spot. And they're over. I think they need to stop sweeping. They're going to over curl this. Looked like they switched gears and were trying to get that into the house, and now that shot is wide open. I think they needed to stop sweeping that guard earlier to leave it up higher and a little less curl. They over curled it a bit by sweeping it the last few feet. And they've opened up shot stone. Should be possible to stick around here. There is a jam in the back. Have to watch this jam in the back. That could potentially cut them down to only 3, but I'm sure Patrick would be very happy to score 3 and tie this game. Last shot, 7th end. Patrick didn't like it out of hand. Now it's starting to curl. And he's going to click the guard again. They underswept it. Patrick called them off early, and that'll be a steal of 1. Golden opportunity there. For Yale, they did not capitalize. So RIT grabs a 10-6 lead after 7. With a 4-point lead, RIT will throw through. You don't have to quite throw that hard. You know, Yale needs some corner guards. And this is a good start. Yale's looking to come around their own corner guard. I'd be tempted to throw another corner. Down 4. This is going to be a nice shot, though. It's going to be nicely buried under the corner guard. Well done. Too early to remove the guards, so RIT is just electing to draw down to the shot stone. You can tap it back, would be okay. If you tick the guard and just move it over a little bit without removing it from play, that would be a good result as well. Didn't make contact. Now Yale will throw another guard. They could just come right to that stone and sit 2. Wouldn't be a bad result either. Still be tempted to throw another guard. It's going to be very hard to hide 3 stones behind that high corner guard. And Yale needs 4 this end. That stone's wide open, and RIT will waste no time chasing after it. Game of elimination for them with a 4-point lead. And we've got a couple finals to report. Penn State once defeated Bowdoin 2, 10-5. Bowdoin 1 defeated Penn State 2, 10-1, returning the favor the other way. Over on sheet 3, gap is closed considerably. Harvard trails Cornell 7-5. They're playing the last end now, with Cornell having the last rock coming home. Over on sheet 5, Villanova leads SUNY Poly 7-2 after 7. And over on sheet 6, Penn has extended their lead to 5-3 over RPI2, and that's after 7. Well, Yale's got an end brewing here with only blue rocks in play so far. And another flash by RIT, throwing that heavy weight and just not forgiving if you're not on the broom. If you're a little wide, that's what you get. There's no curl. And so now Yale's hitting 2 with some corner guards in play. They're just looking for another place to hide a stone. They're trying to get around their tight corner now and see if they can sit 3. So if they can nudge one into that area. And this one looks a little heavy, but it's coming down now. Need to keep it in the house. It's going to go back 12. It's going to bury itself, so that's really kind of an awkward spot. They've got 3 rocks behind the corner, and now RIT's under a little pressure. They need to peel one of these guards and just hit something here. Open up the house. And again, throwing that big weight. Threw it wide, almost missed, almost clipped the high guard, which would have been disastrous. They did remove one of the stones in the house. Another draw for Yale, looking to bury another stone around the high corner. And the weight here looks pretty good. Didn't get it buried, but they do guard shot stone in the back, so that's going to force RIT back into hit mode. They're staring at 3. The rock that's hurting them is this guard right in front of the house. It's guarding, partially guarding 3 stones. Love to run it back into one of the other blues and maybe get a double. So Yale keeping things alive here. Got 3 in play and the last rock.
See this little dot? Put it on it.
Morgan Shine looking to peel something, maybe get a double. Gets rid of 1, but Yale still sits 3. Chance to lob another one in and sit 4. I think Yale almost has to come around this red guard and sit 4, leave that shot open. And they'll have a shot to score for. And that's where Patrick is motioning. Come around that corner guard. Looks like they're thinking of guarding their stone on the back four, but that could give RIT an out. Depends on whether or not you think they're hitting or drawing. With their 4-point lead, I think they almost assuredly would hit. Main thing is you just need to be counting here. If you're Yale and you're sitting 4, you've got a chance to tie up this game. Patrick Wang now trying just to draw one in. Don't want to be short of the rings here. You need this one to count. Even if it's just a biter. And this is going to come up light. Needed to be hitting that all the way. Now a chance for RIT to essentially end the game. They just need to remove a stone, and Yale will be out of rocks. Be really tough to split Patrick's last stone onto the rings and keep the shooter. Yale's hoping for a miss here. Only way they can get back in the game. RIT can remove this stone. I think they've sealed up the win. Sweepers were on it early, got him up. And that removes shot stone. And now I think an impossible task for Yale. They've got to figure out how to get 2 stones onto the rings and remove shot stone. Doesn't look possible. Yeah, I think Yale's realized that they have no chance to score. I think they're going to throw this draw just to have a chance to practice their DSC. Since they're technically not out of rocks, they can do that. Might give them a leg up on their draw shot challenge. And a nice draw by Patrick. Make the final score 11-6. That's a final. RIT 1 over Yale 2. RIT emerges victorious, and we'll make one final pass around the sheets to catch up on the scores. Penn scored 3 more. They won their game 8-3. Villanova's a winner over SUNY Poly. And we're going to play an extra end on sheet 3. Cornell versus Harvard. They're all tied up 7-7. To check out all the latest scores and results, you can always go to our website at uticacurlingclub.org. Hope you all enjoyed the webcast this morning. We will be back at 11:30 with Draw 3, Pool A action. Game not yet decided, but you can always find out what game we're streaming and see if it's your favorite team by checking out our live draw board at uticacurlingclub.org. Hope you enjoyed the game. And Roger Roulette will catch you again at 10:30 for Draw 3.